And we told you, if you continue to play this mediocre, lukewarm type of politics, people are not going to vote for you. People do not want to vote for mediocre no more. But no, Harris got the nerve to say, I told you so. So the 4 words that I'm going to probably be saying for the next 3.5 years right now, I told you so. Yes, that's going to be something that I might get on I might put that on a t-shirt. Hey, don't mess with me. I'm had that on a t-shirt next week. I told you so. I can say that. And millions of other people who's been trying to tell Republicans, trying to tell Democrats, anything in between, hey, if you vote for Trump, this is what you're going to get. Oh no, but Trump said that he's going to do this. Trump said he's going to do that. No, man, if you look at his history, look at the people around him, he's not going to do that. But I mean, Trump is just crazy, right? Trump just likes to say all these crazy things to get a reaction out of people. He's an entertainer. He's not going to really do all that crazy stuff. I told you so. When it comes to food prices, inflation, what out of the 100 something executive orders, how much effort is he putting into lowering prices of anything, trying to get this inflation problem that we all wanted to vote against? What is he trying to lower that? And don't you dare say tariffs. Hey, if you say tariffs, you're the dummy. You're the idiot. Hey, congratulations, idiot. That's you. When it comes to his racist immigration policies, oh, he's going to do this and this and this, before the election. No, Trump is not going to do that. He's just talking crazy. He loves the Mexican people. He loves the Hispanics. What's going on? Hey, have you seen him? That's what I'm saying. When it comes to destroying the democracy guardrails that we have to prevent tyrants like a Trump. How is that going? Oh no, he's gonna abide by the rules. That's why we got 3 branches of government. Once the courts say this and the courts say that, Trump is a man, he's an American. He's going to understand his boundaries when it comes to his presidential powers. I almost laugh saying that because we already know that was some bullshit. He doesn't care. And we're seeing that every single day. Court says this. Oh man, we already did that. They're already on a plane halfway on the other side of the world. And he knew that. Oh my God. Come on. I told you so. We told you so. But the one person that cannot say it, and it irked me seeing the video. It bugged me. It's the Democratic Party minus, the Bernie Sanders, the AOCs, the progressive small portion, the 5%. But the 95% of the Democrats, Harris, Joe Biden, Chuck Schumer, and all the other idiots, I don't want to hear nothing from you when it comes to I told you so. Because you know what we told you also? The war in Gaza needs to stop. You're going to lose voters if you don't say something against that. Did she do it? No, she didn't. When it comes to kicking Joe Biden out, years ago, not 2-3 months before the election, we told you not to do that. We told you he's too old. And what did you guys do? Nothing. When it comes to bold policies, what did you guys offer? Nothing. Very little. But guess what? This is 2025. People do not want breadcrumbs no more. And we told you, if you continue to play this mediocre, lukewarm type of politics, People are not going to vote for you. People do not want to vote for mediocre no more. But no, Harris got the nerve to say, I told you so. So let's see what Tim Walz, he's on CNN. Let's see what Tim Walz has to say about Harris saying, I told you so.
Support unions across the board, support the ability to have a living wage.
So we heard your former running mate Kamala Harris say she's not here to say I told you so, although obviously that's what she was saying about all the Trump chaos. We're seeing, I have to say though, what does I told you so really mean here? I mean, people heard her message. They did not vote for her. She lost every battleground state. You yourself have criticized the Harris-Walz campaign for being too cautious. She may have told the American people, she may have warned the American people, but she didn't do it compellingly enough to win.
That is the absolute point. And look, when I criticize, I'm criticizing myself. I own this. I'm part of the ticket. And somebody has to come up with a strategy. I think this is exactly right. This is the thing. Look, Democrats, it was a good night in Wisconsin. I was over there. We saw that happen. Donald Trump's doing this. Just to be clear, nobody on the Democratic side is celebrating this, and those folks in the street are not celebrating that Donald Trump's making all these errors. I think what the vice president's saying is that was pretty self-evident that he was going to do that. I do think the challenge for Democrats...
To be honest, I don't think so. I think the elite, the establishment, the ones that are well off, I think they are kind of celebrating this. Because, once again, tell me if I'm crazy, okay? They think this is going to get them automatic votes for the next elections. Let Trump be crazy as he wants. That's just going to bring more people to us. Don't think so. Do not count your chickens before they hatch. I don't know if you guys heard that one. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Because we thought that this last time and you guys lost. So once again, I don't think they may not be celebrating, but I don't think they're upset, to be honest.
Democrats, and this is, I think, a structural problem that's going to take a lot more thinking. Why, with all of that out there, did they not think we were any better than that? And they didn't. And I'm very concerned with the folks who stayed home. And these are folks that I'll say once again, Donald Trump has identified their angst. They can't buy a house. They can't afford to get a good education. They're concerned that their economic future is so precarious it could slip out from under them. Less than half of Americans have $1,000 in savings. And I think, why was it not so compelling? It should have been a slam dunk for us to say, we're the party that cares about that. We're the party.
No, but the problem is, you guys, for the past, 10 years, have been lacking, one, in the messaging. Okay, you guys suck at the messaging. Two, Joe Biden, for the couple of policies that he did push out there, and once again, if you don't know the policies, please read the policies, then come back to me. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. And that was 2024, last year. We need something more. Once again, people are tired of the breadcrumbs. We want the loaf of bread at this point. And we've seen it. We've seen a glimmer of it during the pandemic. We cut child poverty by almost 50%. And I don't think the government really was expecting to do that. And as you know, you can't keep a good thing going, so they end up ending that. But we know that the government can do something about it. So we want the government to actually do their job. Stop the genocide over there in Gaza. That's simple. We need better paying jobs. We need affordable education. And damn it, we need better prices. I know when it comes to the inflation and people seem to not understand how numbers work. But yes, inflation was going down. But hey, man, we need to jumpstart that thing. After everything that Trump is doing now, I needed Joe Biden to do something pretty gangster for the American people. But once again, can't dwell in the past. But when it comes to the Democrats, you guys sucked at everything. That's your fault.
Party that's going to protect Social Security and Medicare. We're the party that thinks the ACA is a good start, but we need to do more on health care. And we didn't do that. So I'm concerned. Democrats do well in special elections and off-year elections, but the electorate that comes in presidential election years is different. When I was young, it was easy to know what a Democrat was. They stood with the working class and labor. The Republicans were country club and for the rich. Today, you ask people, they don't. We have a 29% approval rating.
Yeah.
It doesn't help us any that Donald Trump ends up with a 25% approval rating. We have to get back to the core issues, that this is about making America prosperous and stable and innovative for everybody.
Well, what do you make of
And he brings up a good point, because when people are talking about politics, 9 times out of 10, if they're trying to pretend as if they're, centrist right in the middle, they're going to tell you Republicans suck and Democrats suck. They're all the same. There's no daylight in between the two parties. They're all grouped together as a trash politics. Well, Democrats, you need to understand why people are calling you guys trash. That's simple. But, hey, there you go.
the criticism that one of the reasons why your party was so resoundingly rejected last November is because Democrats were gaslighting the country, saying that inflation was not a big deal, heralding Bidenomics. Not only Biden, but Kamala Harris was heralding Bidenomics, pretending that there wasn't a problem at the border. And then fundamentally, this idea that President Biden was up for another 4 years of the job, while Americans in poll after poll for year after year were saying he's too old to do the job. Your party stood against all of those things.
Look, Joe Biden coming in and doing COVID and being a governor through COVID did a hell of a job. But I think one of the things that we didn't do is we assumed that we said, and it was true, that we were going to have a soft landing and our economy was better than the rest of the world. Better for who? Better for the working class who was saying groceries were too expensive, as they are now and going up. They got to see us talk about things. Again, I go back to this. Don't talk about food insecurity or housing type of issues. Talk about people being hungry and wondering where they're going to live, or about their children's future, about real security. And so I think your question is spot on. I think we got intellectualized on this. I think the fact of the matter is Joe Biden did soft land the economy. He did usher us through COVID. None of us are saying we should be soft on the border, but we allow a vacuum, and Donald Trump fills it, the 800-pound gorilla, and their narrative starts to stick, and we look weak. We look weak like we don't care. We look like look, Jake, I'm not going to say, we need to do is we need to just arrest people and ship them to El Salvador. No, we need to invest the money on border. We need to make sure that we have the judges necessary to adjudicate things faster. We need to make sure if you're going to be in this country here legally, and when you are, you're going to be uplifted, celebrated, and part of this great American tapestry. We didn't do that, and then it fills them. They'll find the example that is horrific. Where
Okay, Tim, time out. Okay, so once again, you're kind of avoiding the gist of his question. Is people were saying Joe Biden was too damn old and you guys did nothing about it. Hey, I don't care if Joe back then was kind of on his thing and he was, alert and no, if majority of the Democratic Party does not want a Joe Biden to run again, you need to listen to the voters. That's simple. So I don't know why he's dodging that. Second off, Harris and Joe Biden and a lot of the Democratic Party, it's like they're trying to outdo the Republicans when it comes to, for example, immigration. They're trying to out-Republican the Republicans in immigration. And if you don't believe me, just go back and hear how they're talking about it. They're not trying to do humane, common sense reform when it comes to immigration or the asylum process. No, they're just trying to out rhetoric the Republican rhetoric to try to get Republican voters, maybe? No. Republican voters don't want Republican light. If they want that real racist stuff, they're going to go to the real racists for that. So once again, he's right where, the Democratic messaging was whack enough that people weren't really listening. And when Trump spoke, people listened because he's an entertainer. He knows how to do that. But the thing is, you guys didn't force or try to fight for real policy change. They did the one where, Trump, called his homies and said, hey, kill the bill. And they did. And that was it. I didn't hear no big spectacle. I want you to shut down the airwaves and say, hey, we're trying to fix the immigration problem that we have. And the Republicans are not allowing to do that. It was probably in the news cycle for a couple of days. Gone. Nothing. You need to utilize media the way that Trump knows how to. But unfortunately, you guys don't. So, two problems. You using the media properly, and two, your messaging is going away from Democratic policies and trying to out-Republican the Republicans. And that's the same with trans rights, gay rights, a whole bunch of them. But Tim, hey, stop with the excuses, but let's continue.
You have someone who's not here legally and they commit a crime. That is horrific, but we don't do a good job of telling that.
Don't you think your party needs to acknowledge that President Biden was not up for the job of running for re-election and that this was a major mistake by the
He made that decision.
I know, but you all went along with the idea that he was up for it, and he wasn't. And everybody saw it, and the country rejected it.
Yeah, well, look, history will tell us to go back on that. That very well could be the case, Jake. What I'm concerned about is learning from those.
No, Tim. Hey, Tim, once again, you sound like a politician. You sounding like a politician. I don't want no politician, Walz. Just say, hey, yeah, dude was too damn old, bro. Man, we messed up. Okay, we all should have gathered together and wheelchaired his ass out the White House. Push him down the stairs. I don't know. But he was too damn old. That's simple. Don't politic talk to me right now. That's not what people want. That's back in the 90s. That kind of talking would work. Not now. Not in 2025. But he got the politician tie, got the nice little, and that's what you get.
Lessons. I would hope we would never do it again, make a mistake, make sure we go through and get someone. But I don't know where it helps us going forward. I certainly am deeply concerned that Donald Trump is going to lead us down a horrific, look, thank God it's tariffs that he said. Donald Trump listens to no one. Remember, Donald Trump had statements about.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ, we know Donald Trump is trash for the country in every sense of the imagination. But that pivot you just did, once again, that's good old politics right there. I don't want to hear you pivot, but Trump. No, tell us your policies. Tell us immigration policy right now. Tell us tariff policies that you would do to fix whatever issues that we might have with some countries when it comes to actual tariffs that might be needed. But no, Trump, hey, Trump is bad, and we know it because we see it now. No, once again, that's why you guys lost. And you're going to continue to lose if you talk to people like a politician. That is not going to work in 2025 and beyond. That's simple.
I don't think nuclear war would be that bad. I guess we're lucky that he went after tariffs instead of that route. Yeah. We have an issue in this country that is going to impact us. And if there is not a loyal opposition, if there's not some soul searching on our side, if there's not reaching out to those folks who are in the streets, they're leading right now.
So quick question.
I would tell everybody, you better get with them. Yeah.
Quick question, because we got to go. But you said you're not going to run for the Senate seat there. Are you going to run for a third term for governor? Are you possibly going to run for president in 2028?
Well, I'm certainly thinking about running again in Minnesota if that's what they want. I am not thinking about running in 2028. And my advice to folks is if in this moment you're planning for 2028, you're going to get rolled by the people in the streets. You just need to be out there making sure you're helping and doing things like Cory Booker's doing things like Bernie Sanders.
No. Okay, maybe I'm the crazy one here, okay? If you are planning to run in 2028, you need to start now. Because we seen it with Trump. After he lost in 2020, which he said he still didn't, he started campaigning since that day. He never stopped campaigning all the way until 2024. So what do you mean? No, once again, that is old politics. You need to be in people's faces every single day talking that stuff on Twitter, not MySpace, Facebook, all the TikTok, everything. YouTube, you need to be in people's faces 24/7 for 4 years straight. Because that's what Trump did. Trump never went away. And that's why Trump was a constant threat even throughout Joe Biden's administration. So Tim Walz, I'm sorry. You need to be running right now. Why? Why wait? Start now and do this for 4 years. I'm just saying, maybe I'm the crazy one. I don't know.
Sanders, AOC, things that we see people out talking to folks. So for me, I'm going to get through this legislative session. If the folks in Minnesota want me, I'm kind of inclined to do that. And I just want to play my part to make sure we cannot afford to allow Donald Trump or his successor to go forward because you're seeing the pain.
Good to have you back here, Governor Walz.
Hey, once again, Tim Walz, I'm starting to think that you are a part of the problem, okay? Because you're doing a lot of politician talk, and that's not what people want. That's what got you guys to lose, you doing that and not being honest, talking to people. Just talk to me. Don't talk to me like a politician. That's not going to work. Let me look at my notes, man, because it's Tim Walz, damn you. All right. We need to stop playing it safe. Democrats, hey, I'm talking to you once again. We only got 2 parties. I'm kind of forced to rock with you guys, all right? I need you to listen. If you're watching and you listening, hey, thank you for watching. Go ahead and subscribe. But you need to stop playing it safe. We see Trump doing everything that he's not supposed to do to try to get some things done. Whether you agree or disagree, he's doing some crazy things to get it done. So I need you guys to have that same kind of energy. Hopefully you get another chance in the White House. But if you do, you need to put some stank on it. You know what I'm saying? You need to get in there, handle business, and it all starts right now. You need to stop playing it safe. Stop trying to be a politician and listen to what the people need. Know what the people want and go off that. That's simple. Hey, if you guys need someone to help you, I'm right here. Trying to get over this cold. But once again, guys, if you agree or disagree with anything I said in this video, let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.